What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new MAFEX Medicom toys, The Boys Black Noir. Now, super excited to get this open. You can see Black Noir on the side there, then some awesome product shots with all these great accessories in the back, and then another product shot, The Boys, and then all your legalese at the bottom. Amazon did the great pleasure of shipping my package with care. So I do like to keep these boxes because they're freaking expensive, but is there even a point when your box is that messed up? But yeah, I'm super excited. Unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to put it, I'm all in on this line at this point. I do plan on buying Starlight, as I think she's the last one I need that is out right now. Which these are my first MAFEX figures. So I'm pretty damn excited to be opening this guy up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do just that. So opening him up and playing around with him for a while, I have to say MAFEX really killed it on this guy. He's not perfect, and I do have some things that I am going to complain about because I do hold MAFEX to a higher standard. I mean, you have to take into consideration these things are $100 almost. That's a lot of Myers. So, you know, obviously they're going to be held up to a little bit of a higher standard than, say, a NECA figure or a Hasbro figure. But that being said, I'm still very happy with it. So let's go ahead and get in a closer look here at the head sculpt. I love the way that even though the whole thing's black, there's all these different variations of the colors. So there's like matte finishes, satin finishes, glossy finishes, and I think that it's awesome. The sculpt looks really good. If you get him in like that, like just classic pose, I think his proportions are a little weird. I can't put my finger on what is throwing me off, but overall I think once you pose him, he goes away. Plus it's a MAFEX, so you're not going to want to keep him still, right? But I love all the detail sculpt in there. I think that it's very nice. You got like the musculature over there, you get his arms in there, you get the padding on the chest and the abs. I really like that. He does get a little gappy when you move him around, but we'll talk about that more in articulation. But I like the way that he looks over here. This bicep swivel's scaring me because it's squeaky. Scary, but I love the way that the boots look, or the legs. I think that it looks awesome with all the different variations in the color black. I mean, there's not much to talk about in terms of paint because it is all just variations of black, but I think that that works, and I think that, you know, it's kind of just the character design. There's not really much else MAFEX could have done differently, but I think that they make up for the lack of paint in the accessories. So let's go ahead and take a look at those because he does come with quite a bit. So starting off, he comes with a bevy of extra hands. Starting off with the simple ones, you kind of just get some flailed out hands. I love that they put them on these little racks. You get kind of like a pair of relaxed hands. You get a pair of gripping hands. Then you get a pair of makeup hands. These have like the little blush applier in there. And then this is kind of like a wider open hand. Not exactly sure what that's for. I think it's for one specific accessory. Then you get one of my favorite pair of hands. You get the pair of hands with the knives in them. I think that that looks super awesome. Obviously, he comes with a pair of fist hands. But what's cool about this figure is it comes with a couple hands with items pre-sculpted into them that are like permanently to stay in there. So I like that. So this one, I believe this is the pipe. This looks really cool, and it comes with a little rod inside of it, so be careful with that. That's just to make sure that the peg hole stays the same size, so it's not hard to swap out hands. But I like the way that that looks, and I like that this does not come out of the hand. You get the bunny in the hand. That is awesome. I was worried that this would be a separate accessory. It does come out, but I like that the hand is like perfectly sculpted for it. Then you get the hand with the head on it, and that is super awesome. I love the way that that looks. The head sculpt is really nice, and obviously this one's not going to come out. Now, as far as things that are not hands, I'm not exactly sure what this is. If you guys can tell me what this is, let me know in the comments. I'm not exactly sure what this is. It's been a while since I've seen the show, so I'm not exactly sure what that is. You do get a knife or like a sword, like a mini sword sheath, and you do get a separate back piece that's interchangeable, so you can pop this in his back if you so please. So that's pretty awesome. I can show that real quick. So these ones have the two knives on there, but just pop that off. Slide that off. You can also just have none on there. I kind of like the way that it looks without anything on there personally, but I don't want more accessories lying around. So then you slide this one and pop that on there. And there you go. You get a sword knife on there. I'm going to stick with the little knives personally, but you know, your figure, you do whatever you want, and MAFEX gives you the option for that. So that's pretty cool. Wow, he got really unposed really quick. Then, of course, he comes with soda in a bottle with the straw in it. I really, really like the way that that looks, so you can kind of have it up to his mouth. You get a bowl, which is what I think that big hand was for, is the bowl. I'm assuming. Maybe not. Yeah, it is. So that's pretty cool. And then, of course, finally, you get his little knives, which are by far my favorite accessory. They're the simple ones, but I like them. So you get a ton of stuff, and I think that's cool for the lack of paint on him. It still makes it seem like it's totally worth it, in my opinion. As far as articulation is concerned for the Silent Killer, you are going to get a double ball peg at where the neck meets the head and where the neck meets the body. So pretty much any movement you could want him to do, you will be able to. He can look up very far. He can look down all the way, pivot side to side, and rotate. Perfect head joint here. I love it. Shoulders are going to go upwards about that far. You're going to move them in a peg in there, which is nice, and then you do get like that butterfly that brings them forward, and it's one of the best butterfly joints I've seen in a while. It actually works, which is pretty nice. It'll rotate all around, of course, and then you do get a bicep sole, which is squeaky on mine, but it's freaking me out. Pinless double jointed elbows, and then a ball hinge at the wrist. The diaphragm joint is pretty awesome, so at the top, you can move them forward and back, rotate, and then pivot. I think it's a little ugly how they set it up. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe that's what's throwing me off. But then you do get a ball peg at the waist as well, which doesn't rotate as much, so be careful with that, but it does pivot. Oops, pop that out. So full range, you get side to side. Man, damn. Why is it not? Oh, I was getting scared there for a second. I'm like, it's not popping back in. Pivot side to side, and then he'll crunch about that far forward and arc back and stuff. It gets a little gappy, but it totally works. As you can see, you get the crappy drop down hips, which I don't like because then it does this bullshit. It's really annoying. You can kick forward pretty far, back, upper thigh cut, or swivel, really. It's not really a cut. Double jointed pinless knees, which is better than the NECA, and then the ankles go down, up, pivot, rotate, and a hinge, which I don't really care for the toe hinge on here. It's pretty blocky, but the only complaint I have about the articulation, I think the range is great for the most part, but he does get a little gappy, and he's kind of loose. Like, I don't know, like the hips, like, he'll hold his poses, but it's like, I don't know. I think it could be a little bit tighter on him overall. I think it's really good. I just think he's a little loose. Here he is standing next to the NECA Toys King Kong and the Jazzwares Fortnite Series Peely. Here he is next to the McFarlane Toys Dark Knight Returns Batman and the Hasbro Marvel Legends X-Men's Darwin. And finally, here he is standing next to the Marvel Legends What If Series Zombie Captain America. And seeing as though he is a 6-inch scale figure, I think this works perfectly. So some of you out there might be wondering, yo, Ant, what are your final thoughts on this figure? And I gotta say, for the price point of around 85 bucks, I'm pretty happy with it. It's hard to say, like, oh, well, there could have been more paint, blah, 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 because there really can't be. He wears a black suit, and for what MAFEX was given with his design, I think that they did an excellent job. I really like the articulation, and he comes with so many good accessories, which, believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying this, the NECA figure did not come with, which is odd, because usually they're really good with accessories, but that figure had single joints. It was not very articulated. He was bigger. I think the sculpt was just as good, and the paint was fine, but he didn't really come with much. He only came with knives. So I think that this one's just overall better. So in the end, at a price point of $85 to $100, I actually got this kind of for free. I won a competition at school and got a $100 Amazon gift card, so I bought this and something else. But for that price point, I'm going to go ahead and give this guy I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I think they did a really good job. There's cuts that I don't like. Some articulation things he's a little loose, but the accessories are awesome. The sculpt and paint are great. That is there, and he's just a lot of fun to play around with. So with all that being said, I believe that's all I got for today. If you have not already, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Letterboxd. I post a lot over there, and I have a lot of fun on all those apps, so I'm sure you all will too. But as always, let me know. You coppin'? See you guys in the next one. Peace.
What goes on, guys? I wanted to hop on here again and thank you all for watching, and to let you know that if the following apps interest you, feel free to follow me on them, as I put the links in the description for you guys. I really appreciate everything you all do for me, so DM me with any questions or thoughts. I'd love to sit and talk with you all. Again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.